Hi Cryptopeeps, hope you're doing well. Today is 22nd of June 2022, and as you probably know by now, this is a week of carnage so far, and I'm looking towards probably more carnage today, as the Fed will probably in the US there increase the interest rates again. Bitcoin, as I speak right now, is at $20,000 and change, so it's not looking good, and it's probably going to go to 17 or 18k, maybe even less. So, prepare. And that's why we do these news bites, because, we can show you some of the latest news and show you that although there's bad news out there, there's also good news in there. So keep hanging in there as well. Okay, so the first article we're going to start here with is on the Bitcoinists. And fighting back, here are the cryptocurrencies that are fending off the bears. Because I'll say most cryptocurrencies in the market are suffering from massive losses just from the downtrend of the last 2 days alone. It has not spared any digital assets regardless of whether they are big or small, as both leading cryptocurrencies in the market as well as small cap altcoins are feeling the heat. However, there are some that have put up a good fight compared to some others in the space, recording low losses or even profits amid the declines. It's no secret that the market bloodbath has a lot of digital assets bleeding into the double digits. Amidst all this have emerged some underdogs that continue to push back against the current bear trend. And these have mostly been mid-cap altcoins that have put up the biggest fights. An example of this is FTX token. It goes on to say FTX is an Ethereum well favourite. Although it's taking a hit, it has seen its losses come back to one of the lowest in the space. When most digital assets are in the double-digit reds over the last week, FTX token has only seen a 4.96% decline on a 7-day moving basis, making it one of the best performing cryptocurrencies through the crash. Another one that's held up quite nicely is the Theta network, or Theta. This coin is currently ranked 39 on CoinMarketCap, but it's been making its way onto the radar of investors due to its recent performance. It has seen one of the lowest declines with only a 0.99% dip on a weekly basis, and is up 18.51% in the last 24 hours alone. This means that the digital asset is returning some gains even through the market crash. The next one on the list here is Helium, and this is also held up quite nicely with only a 1.090 billion market cap. It has seen a decline over the last 7 days of 7.52%. It's a bit higher compared to the other assets mentioned above, but when put side by side with the majority of digital assets in the space, it shows tremendous resiliency. Very interesting one there. And it also goes on to say here at the bottom, for the large caps, Cardano or ADA, although having some comeback with double-digit losses too, has emerged as the best performing in the large cap space as well. So interesting news there. So although there's some carnage and some downtrend, but at the moment there are some cryptos out there that are staving this off and performing quite well. So moving on to the next news here. This is an interesting one, and this may help the rumor mill and help the FUD and help the markets all crash right now. And this is on Kitco. Bitcoin USD continues to fall as there are rumors of a collapsing crypto hedge fund. Says Bitcoin is heading to a massive support zone from 2017. The price has been capitulating in recent sessions after the news that Celsius was restricting withdrawals. The latest hit has come as speculation spread that a Singapore-based crypto fund, 3 Arrows, may be insolvent. So if you got any interest in that, if you've used that, or if you're researching all this kind of stuff like we are, have a look at that a bit more as well, because that might be one of the factors that's driving this downtrend at the moment, as well as interest rates and the state of the world and everything else. But as we know, Bitcoin and all the other altcoins, all the markets out there, they're all cyclic. They go in waves as ups and downs, and it's not just cryptos that are having a bad time right now. All the market spaces are having a bad time. It's looking like a lot of the countries out there may be going into recessions or worse. So we are in a bit of a winter at the moment. Next one on Decrypt here, and this is good, bearing in mind the news, what's happening now, and if you don't know what to do about this, what happens if Bitcoin falls below $20,000? It goes on to say, as bearish sentiment floods financial markets, experts are weighing in on whether Bitcoin will plunge below the $20,000 mark, and what might happen if it does. Well, as I'm reading this, as I said, it's at 20,000 and change right now. So, I think given the interest rate news that's going to come out in a few hours' time, this will definitely happen. It will go below 20,000. How far below? Well, that's the question, really. So Bitcoin, now firmly in a bear market, is currently trading at just above 22k at the time of this article. A remarkable fall from its all-time high of nearly $69,000, and a drop that most observers attribute to worsening macroeconomic conditions such as rising inflation and interest rates. In prior bear markets, Bitcoin has never fallen below the price marked by the previous bull run's peak. The difference this time, however, is that Bitcoin has a lot less distance to travel to cross that mark. Analyst Sam Callahan believes that based on experience from previous bear markets, it's possible that Bitcoin could drop more than 80% from its all-time high, as it did in December 2018 when it fell to just above $3,000. That would mean Bitcoin falling as low as 13,800 this cycle. He goes on to say here, it's important to note that Bitcoin's investor base is very different and more sophisticated compared to previous bear markets. He goes on to say, if Bitcoin dropped below $20,000, I think we would see substantial buying pressure at those discounted price levels because Bitcoin's long-term value proposition remains intact. But, opposing views on this from Yuya Husagwa, a cryptocurrency market analyst for Japanese crypto exchange Bitbank, shares this sentiment. I think Bitcoin could go under 20k temporarily, but will likely recover the level around it quickly. Now, another person here, not so optimistic, Marcus Sorterio, an analyst from UK cryptocurrency firm Global Block, believes there could be more downside if Bitcoin falls below the $20,000 mark. He pointed to the controversy surrounding crypto lending company Celsius and the possibility that the company may be insolvent, and the apparent liquidity crisis that forced it to pause all user withdrawals earlier this week. He goes on to say, I think many are fearful of a liquidation cascade occurring with the likes of Celsius being margin called, and now having a liquidation price of around $17,000 on their Bitcoin position. So there's lots there, and there's lots more news in all these. I'm only reading news bites, as you know from this by now. So if you want to know more, check the links down below, and you can read the full articles and do your own research on this. So another piece of news here, the cryptocurrencies with the most developers, Ethereum, Solana, Bitcoin and more. This is interesting because it's a good marker to see what's healthy in the space and where you should possibly be putting your money. So at this point, virtually everyone is familiar with Bitcoin and many others have likely heard of Ethereum or even Solana. However, thousands of cryptocurrencies are not on the market, and people spend considerable time and effort determining which ones to invest and support. One of the essential metrics people look at in assessing the potential of a crypto project is the developer count. The premise is that the more talent a project has behind it, the more likely it is to achieve success and traction in the vast crypto marketplace. So let's have a look at the top ones here. At number 5 is Bitcoin, and there are about 700 Bitcoin developers as we speak. Number 4 on this is Solana, and as a result, Solana has attracted a good deal of talent and interest from investors. Solana currently has about 1,000 developers working on projects. Cosmos has approximately the same number of developers as Solana. However, Cosmos is not exactly a competitor to Ethereum or Solana. Instead, it provides open source tools for developers to create their own interoperable blockchains. Number 2 on the list is Polkadot. Polkadot is currently the 11th most valuable cryptocurrency and it has about 1,500 developers. And number 1 on the top spot here is Ethereum, of course, and Ethereum is by far the most developers in the cryptocurrency space with over 4,000. So if you're doing your research, we tell you in Cryptoviewing to go out and look at multiple sources of research before you invest any money. Keep this kind of metric in mind. It's one of the things I look at is how busy is the space amongst many others. So that's good information there. And again, the information's down below. Moving on to Bitcoin.com here on their news. Bank of America says 90% of US adults surveyed plan to buy crypto in the next 6 months. A new Bank of America survey shows that out of more than 1,000 US adults, 90% plan to buy crypto in the next 6 months. Moreover, nearly 40% of respondents revealed that they use cryptocurrency as a means of payment. So, that's 400 people out of 1,000 surveyed use cryptocurrency to pay and buy things. That's very interesting. That's a good metric. I think that's a really important one. So Bank of America analyst Jason Kupferberg shared his crypto outlook in an interview with CNBC Monday. He was asked about a recent Bank of America survey that showed sustained interest in cryptocurrencies. The analyst explained that the survey was conducted earlier this month, which was after the collapse of cryptocurrency Luna and the stablecoin UST. He added that over 1,000 US adults participated, so the size was pretty significant. He went on to say it was interesting to see that 90% of respondents said they do plan to buy some crypto in the next 6 months. He also went on to say that was actually the same percentage you reported having actually bought some crypto over the prior 6 months. In addition, 30% of all respondents said they do not plan to sell their crypto in the next 6 months. He also goes on to say here, the Bank of America survey also examines whether consumers expect to pay for goods and services with Bitcoin or other cryptos in the near future. And according to the results, 39% of respondents said they use cryptocurrency as a means of payment for online shopping. It says using it as a payment method is interesting for sure, and we think what that's highlighting is the increased use of certain what we call crypto to fiat type products. And there's more information there if that article interests you. But as I said, I think it's really positive news, especially in this downtrend that we're seeing, and there's lots of FUD out there, people saying Bitcoin and cryptos are dead. They're not. You can see it here. The institutions are doing the studies. They know that people want cryptos and they're using it. So on the Bitcoiners here, Bitcoin will hit 100K in 12 months, says ex-White House chief, and he predicts, despite the crypto carnage. So Bitcoin has proven itself time and time again to recover from any kind of storm. And with this, Anthony Scaramucci, the former White House chief of communications and founder of Skybridge Capital, said he stays positive amid the gloom and negativity in the bear market. Let's go see what he says here. So he remains bullish on Bitcoin. He disclosed in his recent appearance on CNBC's Squawk Box. The mooch Scaramucci said what he believes cryptocurrencies will rebound from the carnage if market players stay prudent, despite the fact that typical pessimistic sentiment currently dominates cryptocurrency and general market headlines. The head of Skybridge also compared the current sell-off to the meltdown of Web 1 firms in 2000, when practically all internet company stocks plummeted. He advised investors to maintain discipline, and he said that Skybridge had purchased more Bitcoin and Ethereum in response to host Andrew Dworkin's question over the phrase, buy the dip. More on there if that would interest you. Let's have a look at what he says here. He says Bitcoin will reach the vaulted 100K price. Scaramucci is pleased that Bitcoin still maintains more than half of the market cap for cryptocurrency, and he's confident that Bitcoin will reach $100,000 within the next 12 to 24 months. And there's lots of people that support that view as well. So, bear that in mind when you're doing your research. Now, this is a great piece of news. I think this is, again, really important news, in this negative space out there at the moment. And this is on Vogue Business here. And it says, Tag Heuer watches are going to display NFTs, and this will be the ultimate status symbol. And there's one of the watches there. Tag Heuer was an early mover in the luxury sector with the introduction of crypto payments on its US website. Now the Swiss luxury watchmaker is taking the lead again with the addition of a connection to a crypto wallet, allowing users to display their NFTs on their face of their smartwatch. The new functionality is being added to the Tag Heuer Connected Caliber E4 smartwatch and will also be available as a free update for smartwatch owners via Apple's App Store and Google's Play Store. Users can securely connect to crypto wallets such as MetaMask or Ledger Live, and the watch face has 3 ways to display time while showing NFT artworks, operating with all collections on Ethereum. Tag Heuer CEO believes that an NFT display will be an attractive add-on for watch owners, and he says not launching our own NFT collection but allowing collectors to use their NFTs in a new way was the most obvious step. We speak to all passionate collectors. There's more on that if that one interests you. It interests me. NFTs aren't going anywhere. You know, they're down a bit at the moment, but they're not going anywhere like all cryptos. It is the future. And I have to be honest, you know, NFTs, for a lot of people when they're buying their Bored Apes, it's a status symbol. So if they can display the status symbol, you know, where people are going to see it, this is going to be a big thing for them. So that's great news there. So that's my main news today, other than obviously, you know, the crash. I don't want to highlight that too much. We all know what's happening. You know, it's carnage out there, but it's not just cryptos, it's everything else. But I want to leave you with some news bites as well. And there's free, as I said in previous videos here that I do for you guys, I scan the news everywhere and I record lots of it on my Crypto News Bites magazine. There's, you know, 1,500 stories on there, so have a look at that. That's a great news resource. I add to that every single day. But I also scan the internet, especially YouTube, for lots of videos, and I'm subscribed to huge amounts of programs on there. And there's some that popped up which were really interesting for me today that I want to share with you. And there's this one here first. So this is on Daily Dose Crypto, great one to subscribe to. And it says Bitcoin will eventually hit $2 million a coin. It says Max Kaiser and Greg Floss, and this is their Bitcoin price predictions. So have a look at that, and you know, have a look at why they're saying they think this is going to happen, especially in all this negativity out there in the market at the moment. The next great video piece of news here is Anthony Pompliano, or Pomp as everyone calls him, and this is you know, the interview with Scaramucci, which I just told you about, and institutions are buying Bitcoin. So, you know, have a look at the thing. What I like about these videos is when you look into the eyes of the people, you see their determination, you see, you know, their real truth of what they're doing with their investment. That's the best way to determine your intuitive decisions. So have a look at this one as well. See what this guy says as well. I find it very interesting. And the third one I want to play or show you here, or for you to have a look at, is from a channel that I've been following for a long time. It is one of the best crypto-related channels out there for you to get information from. It's called Coin Bureau, and this is a great 25-minute video titled "Housing Bubble Collapsing." You need to watch this, and it's great because they really do their research, you know, and he shows you all the housing situations, all the housing bubbles across the globe. Including the UK, I'm afraid to say, which is above the US actually in his stats, and what might be happening with the, you know, the downtrend in the housing and the possibility that housing markets are in a bubble and they too could collapse in this carnage we are experiencing. So that's just free videos out there. Have a look at those. Maybe subscribe to their channels. They're a fantastic source of information. That's it from this week. As I said, it's pretty negative out there at the moment, but you know, think along the positive side of this. It's huge buying opportunities out there right now. Some of the cryptos are down, you know, 40, 50, 60, 70, even as much as 90% out there at the moment in the market. So if you've had your eye on something for a while and you have a little bit of money that you know you could invest, money that you can afford to lose in case something does go wrong, then give it a try. You know, it's a really amazing buying opportunity out there at the moment. Me personally, I'm kind of seeing what's going to happen with the dip today, and you know, I may buy a little bit more Bitcoin for my holdings and for my future. Anyway, have a great week ahead. Thanks for supporting us. Any comments or anything, put them in the comments down below. As I said, the links below for all these videos and all these news sources. Have a great week ahead. Keep safe out there. Take care. Bye.